This interesting challenge I ran into coming from a major platform provider dedicated in security, which is just because you put things into a bundle, or just because you put things into a single pane of glass, multiple tabs,
Yeah.
and just because you do that doesn't necessarily mean that it's any easier to manage. And I think what you're alluding to is it's not just about, can I turn these things on, but are they going to actually provide security value? Do I know they're there, and then are they going to provide value? One of the things you also observe with platformization is misconfigurations are probably one of the number one killers, kind of like a cancer, a silent killer, if you will. And one of the things we recently released was our drift detection module. We started to wrap natural language processing around it, started to give more access to the customer on how they can tailor observing changes in their security infrastructure and alert themselves on top of our risk-based decisions. Why do you think that something that is so old and archaic like drift, why do you think it still exists and is still happening? And I suppose, do you agree that it's important to still continue to take on that challenge?
Yeah, I think the industry for a while mistook compliance for security, right? And so you had folks do an audit, everything looks great, I'm now PCI compliant. Well, it turns out that doesn't mean you're not going to be hacked. And the reality is, if you get a SOC 2 or whatever the regime you pick is, that's a point in time. And the moment you're done analyzing it, it begins to drift. And I think part of the problem is what you highlighted a moment ago, which is all these tools, we keep adding more and more single pane of glass, multiple tabs is a charitable way of sort of also saying private equity roll-up has a bit of that energy in some of these products and some of these offerings. And I think that can create a lot of confusion about, I've got to make the same 3 or 4 setting changes in my own security products, even though they're from the same vendor quite often. I think that just opens up folks to be blind to what's happening. The reality is attackers move with great speed, and so what was not a vulnerability or what was a low severity misconfiguration a couple days ago, a new tool comes out and suddenly that's the main point of exploitation. And so I think being able to quickly, I think it's both proactive and also reactive to understand there is an exploit that has just come out, it's a 0-day, what is my current posture and how do I go solve that?
Yeah.